know I got the receipts, girl. You know I got the receipts. Thank Pillcare for sponsoring today's video. Please click the link in the description box below and use our discount code Sweetpea to get started. Hey you guys, welcome back to the Sweetpea Diaries. It's your girl Sweetpea and I am back with another video. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome to the Sweetpea Diaries. Be sure to like this video, share the video, but most importantly, be sure to subscribe to the channel. So you guys let me know if you can hear me and we will get right into the show. Y'all know what time it is. All right, who we got in the building? Let me check the chat. Let me see. We got Courtney Jackson is here. Queen April, my moderator, is here. Dion says whatever, my moderator is here. Simply Lee is here. Michelle is here. CR22 is here. The Donat Show is here. Hey, Donat. Let's see. All right, Dion. You guys, make sure you go on over and subscribe to my moderator, Dion Says Whatever. She is now a content creator. So y'all go on over there and click subscribe. All right. And follow my girl. Donat is also a content creator. So going over there to the Donat Show. He also has a backup channel, Truth Teller Donat. So go over there and subscribe. Who else is in the building that is a content creator? My moderator, Together We Break Chains. When she pulls up, she is also a content creator. So go over there and subscribe to her channel as well. Hey, Courtney. Courtney says, I can hear. Hey, CR22. What's going on? Hey, you guys, listen, we here tonight to talk about Monique Shell. Now, y'all know what has been given. Y'all know what has been going on. Now, recently, Monique has been in the press with her first son, her estranged son, okay? They are all over the blogs because Monique did, Club Shay Shay, okay? Everybody is going to Club Shay Shay. All right, and she did an interview with Club Shay. That thing got millions of views. I mean, after a couple days, it was already in the 2 million, 3 million views. So it is doing very well. But she was on there, talking about, because I think, just in speaking, Club Shay Shay, Shannon, what is this? Shannon Sharp or something like that. He asked her about her relationship with her son. And, she basically talked about how they are estranged and, you just got to let the universe handle it and all this. So her son came out and he's like, no, ma'am, that is not what it is given. Okay. And so it's been a nasty back and forth. So I got the receipts because I've done a documentary on Monique. And in that documentary, I talked about her the real tea. about her son. A lot of y'all don't even know who the baby daddy is, who his daddy is. His name is Shalon, all right, and Shalon Watkins, I think. And he's actually named after the daddy, okay? Because her daddy, her new husband, Sydney is not Shalon's father. So I got all of that tea, okay? We're going to watch a clip from my documentary, and I'm giving you the tea as far as who he is, who the baby daddy is. So before we get all into and we break down, because Monique done released text messages between her and her son and all of that. So before we get into that, though, I want to cover exactly the history, who her son is, and we're going to just get all into it and just unpack this whole thing. So I want you guys to watch this clip from my documentary, and you can find the full documentary on my channel. It is under, I think it's Monique, The Rise and Fall of a Queen of Comedy. You can, and after this video, the link to that video will be in the description box, okay? So check this out real quick. The stage, it's just you. And I love the fact that you know within 5 seconds if they like you. I love for people to touch me, that I'm right here in your face. Now, in her obscenity-filled stand-up, Monique did not tell jokes per se, but talked about family, sex, and her own life as a plus-size woman in a funny way. Some of her comedy was extremely personal, however. Her first husband, Shalon Watkins, was physically abusive, and Monique drew on this experience for her comedy act. She did so not only for the comic value she could get out of it, but also to reach out and affect those in her audience going through the same thing. Now, a quick tea break. Monique was briefly engaged to an accountant named Kenny Mung in the early 90s. Then from 1997 to 2001, she was married to Mark Jackson. But what many do not know is that this was not Monique's first marriage. She was actually married to a man named Shalon Watkins, and in 1990, she gave birth to a son named Shalon Watkins Jr. The family of 3 moved to Atlanta so Monique could pursue her career as a comedian. But after 2 years in Atlanta, her marriage began to crumble. Monique then met and married Mark Jackson. So while Monique's online biography information lists her oldest son's name as being Shalon Jackson, taking the last name of Monique's husband Mark, his last name is actually Watkins. He is a junior. Now, Mark and Monique, they do have a son together as well, but Shalon is not Mark's. Now, during my research, I found his SoundCloud. He has some pretty good beats on there that he has produced. Go and check the young man out. He even has a photo of him and Monique when he was a newborn. Okay, so catch that tea, all right? So Shalon and Monique, I think, how when you usually the firstborn, when you're young and when you're just starting out in life, the firstborn is always the one that kind of like grows up with the parent, especially if you're a single mom. I've noticed that. I mean, even in my own life, that happened with me and my oldest. It's like, when you're young, you're a first time parent. You're not really, really understanding what you're doing. And even if you got dreams and aspirations, sometimes you have to put those on hold, right? Now, Monique was just starting out with her career. That's back then when she was really popping. I mean, when she had what was that? What was it? Not Moesha, but what was that show? The Parkers, right? And Monique was really popping back then, the Queens of Comedy, all of that. So she was just getting accustomed to fame. And she really wanted fame. She really wanted her career. And so she neglected her son. She didn't want to be a wife. She didn't want to be a mother. And back in 2020, like around March of 2020, she was on, I think, the David Banner or Ricky Smiley or something like that. She sat down with Ricky Smiley, and I have a clip of where she admitted that she was more interested in being famous and being a celebrity than taking care of her son. Catch this clip.
When he was a little boy, I wasn't interested in being a mother. I was interested in being a star. And I was interested in being famous. And I wasn't interested in being a wife. I was interested in taking pictures and red carpets and signing autographs and traveling the world. So I didn't really put the focus in. And now that I'm 52 and he'll be 30, well, I pay for that. There's a price you have to pay for that. And I had to apologize to my son because
I just want to put all this in context, okay? Before we start putting the blame and we start saying who's right, who's wrong, and we start unpacking all of it, I just want to put it all into context, all right? Sometimes you got to use people's words. You got to remind them of the things that they've said, because Monique got a tendency, all right, when she's called to the carpet and things are exposed, she's got a tendency to not take accountability, all right? So I just want to put all of this in perspective. So now we know who Shalon is. We know that Monique has stated that she was not interested in being a wife. She wasn't interested in being a mother. She was more interested in red carpets and signing autographs and being a celebrity than being a wife and being a mother. Okay. Those are her words. All right. So now I want to go into this whole progression, okay, before we start talking about how we feel about all of this. And I want to play what she said on Club Shay Shay, and then we're going to go into how her son, what he has since come out and said about his mother and his estranged relationship with his mother. So check out the clip with Club Shay Shay.
Time around. What's your relationship like? Is he resentful of that?
We're still very much separated.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where you have to pray to the universe and say, let time do the healing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Right.
That's it. Let time do that healing. It may heal it in time and it may not.
Right.
And that's something that we as parents have to say, listen,
right.
I've done what I could do. I've taken accountability for it. Now it's up to you.
Right.
That's like when somebody's saying, Shannon, I want to apologize to you. Now it is up to you.
Whether or not to accept it.
Whether or not to, but once I give it to you, I've done my part. And don't apologize like no punk. I'm just sorry for everything. That gets your ass out of it. No, break it down.
The interview that she did where she states that she prays to the universe in regards to reconciling our relationship, as I stated, is odd. My mother and I both know that that is a very false narrative, and I would like to free her of having to continue telling that lie. Faith without work is dead, and neither one of us cares to put forth any effort to reconcile with the other. We are separate, as she put it, because she doesn't care to be my mother any more than I care to be her son. Neither one of us has had the desire to reach out to the other in a very long time, and I don't think that either of us anticipates that feeling ever returning. Speaking with my mother directly, in my experience, will either lead to some odd newfound moment of clarity in regards to how she was as my mother, or she retreats back to daddy to move forward with a conversation. And I'm tired of hearing my mother's truths. But to address the clip, but standing in your truth doesn't make you noble. I'm not sure if people are aware of that. But responding this way, I feel as though it allows me to say my piece uninterrupted. To those wondering, well, why say something now? Call it a form of therapy for me, I suppose. But when her daddy had intentionally stated that they have 3 sons, but his wife is on the internet talking about the 4th son in a video that has millions of views, that rubbed me the wrong way. But anyway, to inform a child that you are not interested in being a mother at a time when that kid is the only kid that has the potential to lead a child to believe that you are not interested in them specifically. But to take it a step further, my mother had also admitted to me that she didn't do the best job that she could do, which would also make one begin to question, all of your past decisions and prior emotional interactions. But to be completely honest and fair, those were things that I was willing to get over. Nobody's perfect, we're all human, but my mother showed a clear lack of humility, compassion, and consideration when taking any level of accountability for those things. My mother does a fantastic job of acknowledging a lot of things, but she doesn't take accountability very well, and anything that she may take true accountability for, it's only at her convenience, in my experience. But if I had to guess, though, her interest in being a mother probably started around the time that she married her daddy and had his children. But that interest, obviously seemed one-sided, and as it should have been. By that time, I'm in my late teens, so to some degree, the the neglect becomes easier to hide or validate, I guess you could say. There are now 2 baby boys in the house, that require attention. But still, during that time, however, I still watched her enjoy the love and admiration of total strangers more than my own. To this very day, my mother has never expressed to me when, if ever, she became interested in me as her son. That did lead me down a path of questioning my self-worth and struggling to understand the value of a mother in a child's life. In the interview, she also states that she gave me an apology, but an apology to a son from a mother that consciously showed no interest in him, holding no weight. There are still women to this day that my mother will give credit to for being more of a mother to me than she ever could. Her assistant, my cousin, being one of them. Every time, though, that my mother would state that she was right here whenever I was ready, that ideology still blows my mind today, that a person could openly admit to being an uninterested, not put my best foot forward type of parent and be so self-centered that they still express to the kid, you have to come to me when you're ready. You got to come to me for us to make this right. Okay. But I'm not sure what my mother could possibly think that she has shown me in the past or have for me now that's not money, goodness gracious, that would make me want to come to her or whatever those feelings are. No, wait, supposed to be. A mother is supposed to be the first woman that a boy falls in love with. I loved my mother very much, but my mother loved things more than she loved me, and she would validate her love for me by giving me things and would proceed to call me ungrateful or inconsiderate if said things did not have the desired effect. I couldn't imagine what it's like to be her, though, to ask God for what you want, and then he gives you what you need, though, only for you to ignore it and have the audacity to ask God for something else. And I'm glad I don't, I'm glad I didn't do that. And when he told you no, you went to the universe instead. By no means, though, do I want to give off any type of an impression that I am a victim of anything. It's not the case. As you can see, I'm smiling from ear to ear. I'm alive, I'm happy, I'm a dad, I'm healthy, I think. I drink a lot of water, I'm getting over a cold now. I still have my days just like everybody else. And, there were a few things that she did teach me along the way. I did learn how not to love from my mother. I also learned to make sure that I never lose so much of who I am that I have to validate it through another person. And though I feel as though, in hindsight, I think she did it reluctantly, I do appreciate my mother, for showing me what the top of the mountain looks like. You know what I'm saying? It did give me perspective on what hard work and dedication can get you, but I don't want something like that at the cost of giving up something that I created. I don't want it that bad. And speaking of creations, I genuinely, truly, I really did want my mother to have a relationship with my daughter. I even thought, I'm alive through those intrusive thoughts that were, if she wasn't interested in you, what makes you think she's going to be interested in your kid? But it took my mother no time at all to prove that those intrusive thoughts were correct. But what I can say, good for her, the universe did, bless her with 3 other sons. Bless her with 3 other sons. And God willing, I'm sure that one of them, all 3 of them are adults now. So I'm sure that one of them, God willing, if not all 3 of them, will make her the grandmother that she wants to be. I still look forward, to that moment for her. But overall, when it comes to the boys, though, I am happy that whenever they do hear me talk, they can't relate to what it is that I'm saying. My experience with my mother is not their experience with our mother. So my prayer for her and them is that they continue to see her the way that they see her now. I do also want to make sure that I say thank you to my mother for giving me life. Without that moment in time, I wouldn't have had my little one. But outside of that moment, there isn't anything that either of us has to offer the other. In my opinion, it's a waste of God's time and the universe's time for praying for something that you were not willing to put forth any effort to obtain. Putting the work into becoming Monique is more important to my mother than being my mother. And I do not believe that it was never about her being there and waiting for me, but it was supposed to be about me being there and waiting for her. My mother's value had reached such a low point in my life that I no longer found it necessary to either want to wait for her or even go to her. But like I said, man, I'm super grateful that she has the opportunity. They can't relate to.
Now, excuse me if there is some type of buffering or anything like that, because the stream health is like giving me some issues off and on. So I'm trying to pay attention to that. So just, bear with me, but we're going to get through it. Okay. Now, when he's saying what he's saying, I mean, I know that is a lot. There's a lot to unpack in there. Okay. He was really talking about a lot. A lot is going on with him and Monique. But I really feel like what he's saying is what she said in that damn interview on Ricky Smiley with David Banner. Ricky Smiley posted, I don't know. But she said that she was more interested in being famous, being on the red carpet. And like he just said, she was more interested in being Monique and the work and the effort that it put into being Monique than being his mother. Now, what she did was move on in her life, got with Sydney, had 2 more kids and all of that. And she got, the other son that she had. And the 3 of them, the 3 boys, and Sydney and Monique, the 5 of them made a family. And they forgot all about Shalon. And that's what it looks like to me. Okay. Now, when she, because he was growing up, and look, matter of fact, check this picture out. Okay. Now, you see here that he was probably preteen, 12, 13 around this time. And you can tell back then when she had this look and this weight, this is when she was just like really popping and becoming famous and becoming a celebrity. And back then she was more focused on putting in the work that it takes to be famous. And I understand that. And it was grueling and it was a lot. But she had this son. Okay. So now once she moved on, and when she did the Precious movie and Oprah and them and wanted her to do work and all this and do the press tour and all that, and she said they wasn't paying her to do all of that, she wanted to be a mommy. She wanted to be with her family. She didn't want to do all that. See, she didn't do that with Shalon. And so there's resentment there. All right. He definitely resents Monique. But I want you to now pay attention to Monique and her husband, Daddy, their response. Check this out.
You have with your father where you spoke ill to him, not to mention spoke ill to your mother, but somehow your mother and father and I all have a loving relationship and communicate back and forth because of the love that we have for you. the one thing these individuals, and to the individuals out here that oftentimes speak after they've heard one side of the story, there's an old saying, believe half of what you see and none of what it is that you hear. Please don't take our word for it, but what we will convey is this. Those who are parents and have raised their parents up to being adults.
The children. Raise their children up to being adults.
Right on. Those who are parents that raise their children into adulthood know that there comes a time and a place in which they determine their own decisions, their own path. You can have multiple children that are raised in one house, but they act and they take on different things. The reason why it was so important for us to entertain these conversations that we typically have privately, or that we're influenced to have privately amongst the people in our community, is because we need to stop being embarrassed about being human beings and about being Black human beings. You will oftentimes hear us saying we are embarrassing ourselves in front of them. Who is them?
Who are they?
Because when you hear someone articulate these things, that is the slave's mentality. That makes us believe that we as Black people need to conduct ourselves with dignity because white people are watching. You should conduct yourself with dignity because the spirit of you is watching.
Come on.
But we need to have these conversations out loud and taboo because we have a finite period of time together here on this earth. You will travel through infinity with the spirit that you have all alone, and you will not remember the ridicule that you receive, but you will be judging yourself. You will be determining for the rest of your life which way that you go as you have thus far. So this conversation is about speaking directly to what situations are. And many people oftentimes, when they are presented with an issue, they stay quiet, they hide, they disappear. And what we're saying is that's not who we are, because what you cannot do is you cannot trick an honest person.
Come on.
You can demean, you can say whatever you want to say about them negatively, but what will happen is truth has a way of standing the test of time. I forgot to have my phone to read the last text message that I gave to you, Shalon, where I told you about the understanding of how you are speaking to a woman and how you as a man and how you perceive things may be completely different from how your wife, how your mother, how your sister, how your daughter will look at things. And when you learn how to communicate a little bit better, then things happen a little bit better because of the challenges that this young brother has had with mental illness. So we're communicating that out loud to speak to our community, to say, listen, y'all, if we have more public conversations, there will be less private angst.
Come on.
There will be less private issues that we carry on because we're afraid to communicate in front of white folks.
So when we get to a place where you want to be free, you will stop being scared to say what's real. You'll stop being fearful of having conversations that normally take place in private and nobody ever really knows the outcome.
You have with your father where you spoke ill.
Now, you know, a lot of people were in the comments, honey, and they were tearing Sydney a new one. Okay, they was ripping Sydney apart. Okay, because they were saying like, Sydney, we want to hear from Monique. Why are you speaking? This is Monique's son. Okay, it is clear that you got the gift of gab and you're just gonna keep it. Can you imagine being in a goddamn boardroom with this dude? Can you imagine him trying to work out $1 million deal and work out contracts. And all he's doing is gapping, flapping his jaws. I can already see why her damn career has tanked, because if he's the fucking manager and he's doing all that goddamn talking, honey, I would check out, and white people, unfortunately, these white people that he's talking about, those are the ones they got to run to get these contracts and these $1 million deals. Those are the ones that they begged Netflix, all that, for these millions of dollars. And then her damn special just tanked and did what they said that it was going to do, which is why they didn't want to give her the goddamn money in the first place. But can you imagine him being in a goddamn boardroom doing all that damn talking? That they from Maryland. I believe he's from Maryland or DC or something like that. So all I see when I see him talking and I hear him doing all that, all I see is the young, boys listening to the OG down to the goddamn bar or the corner store or the neighborhood speakeasy. That's what I see. Oh, all right, young blood. Okay, young blood. That's what I see. Okay. He doing all that goddamn talking. And they like, listen, we want to hear from Monique. And I just really believe this is what her problem is. This dude is too much. He talks too goddamn much. How you got him talking about your son, and this is not his father, right? And then he want to have the nerve to say, how is it that we all three of us, your real dad, me and Monique, we all got a loving relationship, but outside of you're not in this relationship, but the love that we have for you, that's why we all bonding, and that's why we all able to talk. So Monique, after all of this, okay, she then went a step further, y'all, and has released text messages. Okay, because not only it wasn't enough that she didn't hold herself accountable during this live, but then she had to go even further and release text messages, threads of her conversation with her son. Okay, now mind you, these text messages are dated back in 2021. We are in 2024, ma'am. So I don't know if she thought she did her big one with these text messages, but to me, all she did was prove Shalon's case, that you are not present, ma'am. You are not involved in his life, your granddaughter's life. He's got a new, he's got a daughter. You're not in her life. 2021, ma'am, we in 2024. That's 3 years ago. All right, so let me show y'all these text messages, all right? So the Shade Room, of course, they posted it. So she says, here are the receipts from a mother who allegedly does not love her son. We are sharing this with you, Shalon, and the community. Some will completely get it, others won't. We love us for real. All right, this is her. She done this damn tagline, my sweet babies, and we love us for real. That shit is really getting old. So it says, okay, baby, just checking on you. Hey, baby, just checking on you. And he says, hey, man, good morning. She says, hey, baby, did you mean to send this to me? LOL. Man. He says, hey, ma, good morning. My phone auto-corrected ma and put man. LOL. She says, LOL, that damn autocorrect. Then she says, hey, now that was in January 25th at 2:09, then at 3:44. She says, hey, now I see you. And then February the 2nd of 2021 at 9 o'clock, she says, hey, baby, you good? I will call you tomorrow. I'm going to bed. LOL, your mama getting older. He says, LOL, love y'all. February the 8th at 6:35, Monique says, hey, sweetness, I hit you later tonight. He says, okay. February 12th at 1:47, she says, hey, my baby, I'm going to call you when you get back home. We out. Oh, crap. I hit the wrong button. Sorry. Doesn't say talk to you tomorrow. And then he says, hey, mommy, I wanted to send some flowers and stuff just cause. Can you help me pick some stuff out because I have no idea what I'm doing? LOL. She says, hey, my baby, of course I will. Give me a couple of hours to call. Then February 22nd, hey, ma, have you ever heard of hyperhidrosis? it's an excessive sweating disorder. She says, hey, my baby, no, I've never heard of that. I will research it. Then on the 3 days later, on the 25th, she says, hey, my baby, sorry I missed your call. Can we talk tomorrow? Call me when you go on break if you can. Love you. And then he sends this picture of himself. She says, yes, you look so handsome. Now, March 17th of 2021, you better say that shit and then let me know when your break starts. Now, I don't know if she's blacked out stuff. I don't know. It seems like to me she's talking, but I don't see what. I guess she didn't black, but I don't see what she was saying. Maybe she was talking on something else. I don't know. Hey, my baby, how are you today? He says, I'm okay. I've been overwhelmed these past couple days, working through it by talking with Nicole. This hasn't been the best sales week so far, and I've been feeling more anxious about it than usual. Nicole has been helping me chill out, though sometimes she's the reason for the stress, LOL. On the 26th of March at 2:17 p.m. Hey, my baby, let's talk when you get off. He says, can I call you in 30 minutes? Hey, my baby, can you give me an hour? He says, that's cool. Then the next day in the morning, hey, my baby, you up? And I don't see what happened after that. She didn't. See, if you're going to tell the narrative, if you're going to show text messages, please show all of the text messages. She's not showing all of the text messages because I don't see. I'm live. No, you need to hold on for a second, you guys. Sorry, you guys. The kids are always interrupting me, child. And the dog, he just done came in. I'm telling you, if you knock anything down, you're going to regret it. You better sit still. Okay. Evan, please sit down. Please sit down. Thank you. Okay. But like I said, she's not, I don't see, like, it looks like things are being skipped because when she says, hey, my baby, you up, you then see that there's clearly another text message up there, but she didn't put it. So, hey, my baby, please know you still sleep. However, when you wake up, I want you to have an awesome day. He then wakes up and at 9:59, he says, yes, ma'am. How y'all doing this morning? She says, amazing. He says, my appointment with the DMV is on May 7th, so I can start this process for my license. I have 3 derogatory strikes on my credit. I will clear up 2 of them at the end of the week. Just telling you my to-do list. LOL. She says, I know you will get it done. Let's go. And then I see another message. It doesn't tell you when this date is. I don't see what the top part says, but then it says, Jamaica, how y'all doing? He says, we're doing good, cooking a late dinner, salmon, salad, and rice. The doctor's appointment went well. We met one of the midwives. So I'm assuming this is when his wife was pregnant or girlfriend. I'm not sure if he's married or what. She says, oh, wonderful, my baby. Did y'all hear my baby's heartbeat again? Remember Jamaica? He says, yes, ma'am. Of course, I remember Mr. Jamaica. How is he doing? And the baby's heartbeat is strong. We forgot to ask for the BPM. He's doing good. Still look the same. Just got older. It's been 15 years since I've seen him. Is Nicole getting big? He says, our next appointment is on June 11th for an ultrasound. And then June, it says, okay, now, looks like it switched to iMessage. Okay, now, you see how I feel when I get this technology, super cheese. He says, LOL, in June of 2021. Hey, my sweetness, hope y'all having an amazing day. We are on our way to get some raw food, yummy. And then he makes a face like, ooh. And then something done my interview. And then he says, okay. And she says, that's your mama. He says, hey, mommy, are you awake, in October on the 16th? So this jumped from June to now October. Hey, mommy, are you awake? And doesn't hear anything back. And then on the 17th, the next day, hey, mommy, how are your eyes feeling? And then on the 18th, she says, hey, sweet baby, I haven't forgot. I'm just trying to get myself together. And then on the 18th, hey, sweet baby, I will call you after we speak with Tamika and Thomas and her father. We talked to them at 7 this evening. We got y'all back, you and Nicole. And then this is when Sydney, this message, I guess, that he was talking about in that video, this was the last message that he intervened and was speaking to her son. Remember today, and this is Uncle Sid, if you don't change your immature ways, you're going to lose, my man. We can't be mad at you, but we're definitely sad for you. How do you go from putting your mother on hold when generations of family are able to see Sinai on Nicole's side, but you gave no instructions to Tuffy or your mother as to when they would or could be able to see Sinai until after Tuffy brought this fact to your attention? Interestingly, you're a man now, but you were a little boy just days ago as you needed me to walk you through getting a car. The items for the baby you wouldn't even have if your mother, Tuffy, and I didn't care enough to do that for you and Sinai. You needed to be rescued from your apartment weeks ago by Tuffy, but you cussed her out days ago. What's wrong? So, and then it goes on to that. So, child, I'm just still flabbergasted at how Sydney, he is always jumping in and intervening. Now, here it is. You got a text thread going with your mom and you think you're talking to your mom. And now here goes Sydney. Now, I remember when they were in the entire clip of Sydney and Monique, they talked about this car that I guess they purchased for Monique's son. And I just keep seeing Sydney talking about the money or what they're doing for Monique's son and that he's a grown man and they shouldn't have to do things. And, and then to then say on the other hand that he's suffering from mental illness. Now, I ain't never heard Monique say anything about her son and mental illness. Well, she don't even really talk about him, okay? And that's what we're here talking and discussing now. But, okay, so you thought it was appropriate for this man to sit on the live in front of thousands of people, in front of the world, and now millions have seen this, and say that this boy is suffering, this young man is suffering from mental illness. You thought that was okay. You didn't say it, but Sydney said it. Okay, I see the trend. Sydney speaks up. Okay, Sydney says, enough. I'm now speaking. That's what it looked like on the text messages. Monique and the son going back and forth. And then, boom, here's Sydney. Like I said, these text messages, 2021, we now in 2024. We need some context as to what the hell been going on since 2021 to now 2024. Okay, seems like to me after the business with this car or whatever, and the baby being born, and he's probably a young dad raising a family, probably struggling. It seems like he got some type of sales job, and in the sales, you're going off of commission, and you might have a base salary, but you're also really going off of commission. And that's a lot of pressure for someone to, that's got a young family, that's got to provide for a baby and all of that. And living off of a sales salary, that's a lot of pressure. So let me see what y'all saying in the comments and what y'all think about, I want to see, because to be honest with you, when I think about this and you guys, there go my Cash App. Make sure y'all bless me. Just bless me. If you want to donate to the show, like it says, there go the Cash App. There go the Venmo, the PayPal. If you want to become a YouTuber, if you're interested in anything like that at all, y'all can email us at teachuhowtotube sweetpeaddiaries@gmail.com. We also offer YouTube classes. Now, for the month of February, y'all know I got to plug myself. The month of February, we are doing a special for Black History Month, and we are offering our class at a discount for $99. Okay, there have been many people taking advantage of this, and a lot of people are getting a lot of out of this. Okay, I told y'all 2024 is the year for people to get out there. Okay, the celebrity, the rich and famous, they all being exposed. It's time for us to rise up and for us to take our place. Okay, the last shall be first and the first shall be last. Y'all heard that in the Bible. All right, that's what's taking place in 2024. So while the celebrities is being exposed, while they all out there getting exposed, child, we over here getting rich. Okay, we over here growing YouTube channels, we opening up businesses, we doing all of the things of the things. All right. So if you want to be a blessing to the show, and if you want to put into this thing over here, child, go ahead and hit me up on the Cash App, on the Venmo, or on the PayPal. Now, listen, I want to know what y'all are thinking about this, because what is it giving? Why would you put out these text messages? What is that proving? To me, it just really proves Shalon's case, that you're not in his life. You are so busy worrying about Sydney, worrying about chasing behind a dollar. She was worried about the Netflix deal. She's worried about this narrative with Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey and trying to, prove her case that they blackballed her, that they owe her an apology. This narrative that she has, that she just continues, that she won't let die. Okay. She just keep going with this damn Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey mess. But she's so busy focusing on that she's not focusing on her child. Now, he might be a man. He might have you might have a grandchild now. But when you have kids, they're forever yours, no matter how old they get. I have grown children. And if I strike it rich, if I ever become stable enough where they ain't got to work, or they don't have to provide, they can live off me, you best believe that they will. And, I find that Black people are the only ones that do this shit, that say, oh, he's a man, he's grown, he need to provide for his family. And meanwhile, you eating, you just got millions of dollars from Netflix. It ain't nothing to throw them $1 million a piece. It ain't nothing. You still going on tour. You still getting money, from the queens of comedy. You still getting residuals and royalties and stuff from that. It ain't nothing for you to break them off and provide for your family. That's why you're put in the position that you put in. You blessed to bless others. And Black people are the only ones that do this. You don't see Beyonce and Solange and all that. Look at Beyonce and Solange creating opportunity for theirs. Look at Blue Ivy. She's up there on the stage, honey. She done won a Grammy. Maybe I think a couple Grammys by now. She went on tour with her mama the whole goddamn summer. Okay? She will remember that for the rest of her life. Look at Kanye West. Look at Miss Westy. She up there, is Miss Westy just bless me? Don't try to test me. It's Miss Westy. I love that. I think that is so cute. You don't want no problems. You just talking. Miss Westy just trying to bless me. I think that is so cute. Okay. But they're creating opportunities for their children. All right. Look at Jules. That's his name, I think, right? Solange. He out there modeling, child. And y'all know his little horny ass, about time he sat down and got into a bag doing something with himself. Because all we hear about him is revenge porn and him up there doing, leaking nudes. Because I be like, how all of a sudden we just get nudes of Solange's son? Boy, you leaked them damn photos. He just wanted attention. I know I just got off the sidetrack. But I'm just trying to prove a point that you are blessed. You're blessed to bless your children, generations. And that's why you got this grifter, this goddamn Sydney. Long as he getting the money, he don't want nobody else to get the money. Okay. He like, no, sir. All right. This money is staying in this household, and the children that I like, the children that I raised, they're the ones going to reap the benefit. That's what it's giving. Okay? That's what it's giving. You did not have any interest in being a mother, like you said. You said it. These are your words. Okay? These is her words. These are words.
When he was a little boy, I wasn't interested in being a mother. I was interested in being a star. And I was interested in being famous. And I wasn't interested in being a wife. I was interested in taking pictures and red carpets and signing autographs and traveling the world. So I didn't really put the focus in. And now that I'm 52 and he'll be 30, well, I pay for that. There's a price you have to pay for that. And I had to apologize to my son because
now, I see someone in the comments talking about Mark, the adopted son. If I'm not mistaken, I think he lives with Monique and them because they say they have 3 sons. So I thought, isn't that the one? Isn't that the other one? Sydney and Monique have the 2 twins, right? And I thought the third one that's there, I thought that was Mark. So I'm not sure. So I would have to research and do a little bit further research. Are you saying that there's another son? There's a 5th son? Because if there's a Mark, then that means that there's 2, the twins, and then the third one must be Mark. Because if they only have 4, then the third one would be Mark, and then you have the 2 twins. So I believe that Mark lives there. I believe that. I believe that's the 3, and then the 4th one is Shalon, but he's the oldest one. So he wouldn't be the 4th one. He's the first one. Okay. So Lady Princess says that's Sydney's other son. Mark is by someone else. So it can't be because Shalon is Monique's older son. So are you guys saying that she has 5 kids? The third one is from another relationship. Mark is Monique's adopted son and is an engineer. So they're not including him at all. They're just including the blood sons, and they're just not mentioning Mark at all. So that means that they have 5 children total. Is that what we're saying? I've never even heard of him. So I would have to do my research about that. Mark is adopted. Oh, okay. Right, because Monique has 3 children. She has Shalon, who we did the research on that, and I played the clip of who he is, okay? He's named after his father, and I just showed if you want to, matter of fact, we'll play the clip again. This is from my documentary, and this shows who Shalon actually is, okay? For those that might not have gotten that, okay. The stage, it's just you. And I love the fact that you know within 5 seconds if they like you. I love for people to touch me, that I'm right here in your face. Now, in her obscenity-filled stand-up, Monique did not tell jokes per se, but talked about family, sex, and her own life as a plus-size woman in a funny way. Some of her comedy was extremely personal, however. Her first husband, Shalon Watkins, was physically abusive, and Monique drew on this experience for her comedy act. She did so not only for the comic value she could get out of it, but also to reach out and affect those in her audience going through the same thing. Now, a quick tea break. Monique was briefly engaged to an accountant named Kenny Mung in the early 90s. Then from 1997 to 2001, she was married to Mark Jackson. But what many do not know is that this was not Monique's first marriage. She was actually married to a man named Shalon Watkins, and in 1990, she gave birth to a son named Shalon Watkins Jr. The family of 3 moved to Atlanta so Monique could pursue her career as a comedian. But after 2 years in Atlanta, her marriage began to crumble. Monique then met and married Mark Jackson. So while Monique's online biography information lists her oldest son's name as being Shalon Jackson, taking the last name of Monique's husband Mark, His last name is actually Watkins. He is a junior. Now, Mark and Monique, they do have a son together as well, but Shalon is not Mark's. Now, during my research, I found his SoundCloud. He has some pretty good beats on there that he has produced. Go and check the young man out. He even has a photo of him and Monique when he was a newborn. All right. Well, there goes the T right there. Mark is from the marriage to Mark. And so that's probably that, that's the husband's name was Mark. So that's probably where the adopted son, the relationship is right there. All right. So that's the T. So Monique really actually has 5 children. Okay. Whether or not the 3 are, one is Sydney's from a previous, and then the 2 are hers, the twins that she birthed, and then Shalon. So by birth, she has 3 sons, and then she has an adopted son, and then Sydney's son. So now we got the daggone T on Monique. Okay. All of these damn sons and all of these, children should all be treated equally. But unfortunately, this is not happening in Monique's household. And that is evident and that is obvious. And that is what D.L. Hughley is trying to, that's what he was trying to convey when he read Monique for Phil. How can you be calling everybody sweet babies? How can you be saying we love us for real? How can you be saying all of that, but you don't have no relationship at all? You don't have no relationship at all with your children, with your oldest son and with your adopted son. You don't have any relationship with them. The only relationship you got is with Sydney's children, the ones that were birthed by Sydney. And matter of fact, Shalon and Sydney's son, they got the same thing going on. He's the stepson and he's a stepson. The stepson of Monique's and then the stepson of Sydney's. And here it is, Monique is treating his son better than she treat her own son. Now catch that. So people think that this boy ain't gonna have resentment. He absolutely do got resentment, because the same way he don't share all of the blood and is Sydney's seed, Sydney's son don't share all of the blood and ain't Monique's seed. So they should be treated equal. But that's, some women do that. And Monique, sadly, this is what she has done. She took his son, took him in, and treated him better than she treated her own child, because she basically was done with him. All right. She said it. She was not interested in being a mother. She wasn't interested in being a wife. She wasn't interested in none of that. She was interested in being Monique. And all of this newfound fame and this new family, it represented to her that she made it, that she succeeded. It said that Shalon's father was abusive. Okay, you could see that picture that showed in that clip that showed Monique sitting, having a photo with Shalon sitting on her lap. She was young. She was in a abusive relationship. He was abusive. So Shalon represented her past. It represented when she was struggling, when she, was getting beat and abused. That's what he represented. Okay. And some women be like, you look just like your father. And if they hate the father, then they don't like you. So all of this and, he's grown, he's an adult now, he should just move on. How is it that he's coming to the internet with all of this? Listen, he said that when he tried to talk to her, this is, a form of therapy, because when he tried to talk to her, he's met with the same thing that we all are met with. Monique don't want to take accountability. She got all of the answers. She can break everything down and be analytical, and she can find, she can identify the problem, but she has a hard time taking accountability. How is it that every relationship and all of this shit is not Monique, it's everybody else? It's a coincidence that every relationship that's tarnished or that's severed or that is suffering, it is not Monique, it's everyone else. There comes a time when you got to look at yourself. When you got to say, okay, what's happening here? And what is the common denominator? Could it be me? Because it can't be everybody else all of the time. So I want to know what you guys are thinking about this. Is it Monique? Is Monique the problem? Okay. Is Monique the problem? What do you guys think about that? Is Monique the problem? Is she the problem, y'all? I believe that Monique is the problem. Now, in my own life, in my own story, I can relate to this. This is extremely triggering. This whole, I've been watching all this play out. And I can identify with this because when I was younger, I was in a situation with my mother where I am currently estranged from my mother as well. And I understood when Shalon said that he's no longer interested. The both of them are no longer interested in actually repairing the relationship or, doing what it takes to, come together. Like, I understood where he was coming from because years can pass. Like, when you are estranged from somebody and there's an issue that the parent doesn't want to face, like what she has to understand, and what all parents got to understand when there's a situation like this, when there's an estranged relationship, they didn't ask the child, no matter how grown they are, they didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask to be your child. You brought them in the world, so you're responsible for them, right? So when there's an issue that causes you to be estranged, it's not for them to call you. It's not for them to reach out to you, especially when you have identified that you are the one to blame. He didn't ask for you to be famous. He didn't ask for you to want to be on the red carpets and do autographs he didn't ask for any of that. So when you say, oh, I was working, to provide, and like he said, she was interested in giving him things. And she thought as long as she gave money and she gave things and she was successful, that was all that was needed. And that was all that was needed. But sadly, that some of that doesn't mean anything to a child that just wants their mother. And even when you become an adult, you still just want your mother. You still just want to know that you can call on your mom, especially if you got kids now. You can call on her to be a grandmother. You can count on her. Monique is still waiting for him to do what? She says she put it out there in the universe. Now you just got to wait for him to come back to you. And that's what he's saying. She's waiting on him to come to her. If you are wrong about the situation and you're the one that is to blame, you said you didn't want to be a mom, you didn't want to be a wife, then it's up to you to mend this. I don't care if you said that you gave an apology. I can't see 2021. Where are the text messages in 2022, 2023 that show you reaching out? That shows you trying to, call him and mend this. Son, we got to get together. Son, we got to talk this out. Son, I love you. Son, how's the baby? Where is this? It seems like to me, daddy said he don't want to come to you. He don't want to do right. He don't want to do what we say. So F him. He don't get no support. He doesn't get any money. He doesn't get any help. You worry about these kids in this house right here. Zosa Jaban says the fact that she claims Sydney's kid, but Sydney doesn't claim hers says it all. Exactly. Bougie Barbie says maybe her or her with Sydney. Yolanda says, I believe Sydney is the problem. First, amid Monique has fallen for his manipulative ways. I agree with that. Stormy says, yes, Sydney is the problem. Tia says she is a walking, talking contradiction. Miracle says she reminds me of my grandma. And you know what? Like I said, I have been through this. And, even to this day, I'm estranged from my mother. And ironically, my mom actually emailed me the other day. And like when I seen the email, like I haven't heard or talked to my mom in years. It's been a very long time. And when I seen the email, I was like taken aback, and I still have not responded to it. I have not called her. She's asking me to call. She's reaching out. She's trying to make a first step, I guess, and trying to mend the relationship. She's saying, it's the past and we need to put the past behind, but she's still doing what it is she's always done. And that is overlooking the issue. And I believe that is what Shalon is saying. So when people say he's an adult, he needs to just move on, he's got kids now. When you don't deal with the issue at hand and the adult, the mother or the parent that is the parent of the estranged relationship, when they minimize your feelings and they minimize what it is that, you guys are estranged for and how you're feeling about it, when they minimize it, it makes you feel like you might as well just not even reach out at all. Because it then becomes, you're still doing it. You're doing what it is that you always do. And that's minimize my feelings. And that's not take accountability. And that's act like it's all me, like I'm to blame. So when she reached out to me and she emailed me and she was saying what she was saying in the email, it just brought back all of those old feelings. All of that came right back up and resurfaced because I'm like, she's still doing, and said like she was like, oh, you're stubborn, you got it from me and your dad and poor kid. And I'm just like, what? No, you chose a man over me. You chose a man that molested me. You had 2 children by this man and you continue to be with this man after you knew what he did to me. No, that is not the issue. The issue is not that I'm stubborn because both of my parents are stubborn. The issue is that you abandoned me and you chose a man over me. That's what I need you to address. That is what I need you to take accountability for, right? So I understand where he is coming from. And, I understand that he feels like he just doesn't have the energy because she's not going to take accountability. If we see what she's doing in public, what she does with us, when we see her at these comedy shows and like she says, they told me I gotta apologize. And I said, suck my dick. When we see her do these things, can you imagine how she acts behind closed doors? How she is as a parent. And can you imagine how it must feel to know that your mom has millions of dollars? Monique is not broke. And she just got this Netflix deal. So they sitting pretty right now. And now she's back on tour. Cat Williams done threw her a bone. So she's not broke. So to know that your mom is successful and you're struggling and you're living off of a commission, a salesman's salary. He up there talking about he got derogatory things on his credit. There's no reason he should have anything derogatory on his credit. His mom should have paid that off. He shouldn't be riding around in no car that is old or used or anything like that. I bet you those 3 boys, they're not riding around in anything used or ran down. I bet you they don't have shit on their credit. It's stuff like that. Like, come on, Monique. You ain't wanting for shit. You and daddy sitting up real pretty like. We can see the background. We can see the nice spread in the background. They got a nice big old house. You can see in the window in the back, you can see that they probably on a nice property. So they're not wanting for anything. And the fact you got this man living off of and then Sydney is talking about him getting put out of a place and them having to rescue them and then saying that they had to buy the baby stuff. So that tells me that he's not financially stable. So you would rather see him struggle for what? To prove a point? Because Sydney's got a point to prove. And Monique, you're going right along with that. Sydney's got a point to prove that you're going to bend. And see, that's what I get from this, like from Sydney, like, okay, you're going to bend to my will because I'm in control of this shit over here. I'm the man of this house. I'm the man in charge over here. You got to get through me to get to your mom. You got to get through me to get any help financially from your mom. And she's just, that's right, daddy. That's right, daddy. You better say it. Every damn thing he's saying, come on. Like he's saying some shit that is so profound. And all he is doing is a gift of gab. All he doing is pimping and pandering. Okay? Come on, daddy. You better say it. That's right, daddy. Every goddamn thing he's saying. And she just, you better say it, daddy. I'm like, girl, stop it. Stop it. Stormy is saying, I've been following her for years. Sydney has a son from another woman. Sydney's son is a junior. That's why she couldn't name one of her twins a junior, because he already had a junior. Wow. And he bought that junior right on up in that house while her junior, okay? So it's interesting though. And I think I heard Monique say, made an excuse as to why Sydney couldn't take him, Shalon, as his own, because he said he knew his dad or some shit like that. I believe that's what she said in the live. You made an excuse for, listen, when you marry a woman that has children already, and it wasn't like he came in the picture when this boy was a man. He was still a kid. He was a teenager when Sydney came in the picture. So it wasn't like, when you take on a woman that already has children, y'all are one big happy family. Y'all are a blended family. The same way she took your son in, you were supposed to take her son in. But you were more interested in her money and taking in her money and adopting her lifestyle and getting acclimated with being her manager than you were with getting acclimated with being a father to her son. See, he was so busy worrying about getting in there, putting his seed up in Monique so that he can guarantee his spot. And Shalon was like, we got to get him out of the picture because he represents the past. See, when Monique looks at him, she see the past. That's when she was, getting her ass whooped. And that's before the fame and before the fortune. He represents all of the bad. And that's just how I see it. And that's terrible. So Monique, in my opinion, Monique is absolutely the problem with her career, everything that is going on with her. Monique is the problem. The bottom line is Monique has adopted Sydney's philosophies. She's adopted his way of life, his way of thinking, and her, quest to be accepted by him and her quest to be, his woman. Okay. This calling him daddy. And people say, oh, she got daddy issues. No, that's not what she's doing. She's feeding into his ego. Okay. He's a man that likes his ego stroked. That's why she sit alongside of him and coax him on and hype him up. That's right, daddy. You better say that shit. And she an old ass woman pumping up a man that's, a grown ass man that done had life experience. Why you got to stroke his ego and feed into his ego? But that is what she's doing. You better say it, daddy. Come on, daddy. Like, girl. They got an open marriage too, and I heard she go both ways. Well, Monique did come out saying that she was bi or that she liked women, but that seems like that's something that she, explored or was willing to become accepting of, because that's what he wanted. That's what Sydney wanted. And I think that the open marriage thing is an excuse for him to be able to cheat, openly and it be accepted. It doesn't look like he's cheating on you because he's really not attracted to you. He might really not want you. He just wants your fame and your money. So that's his excuse. Oh, we're going to have an open marriage so that way I can have my fun with other women because I'm really attracted to, and it could be men too. Child. They could be doing who knows what they in there doing. Okay? Who knows what they in there doing? But some people will look at this. There's some women that look at this and say, he's got her back. That's what a king looks like. That's what a black man taking care of his queen looks like. He's standing for her. No, he's in her fucking way. This is her career. He's talking for her. And he could be killing her career. There's probably opportunities and things that, he could have messed up, deals that he possibly could have messed up because he talked too goddamn much. This man don't have no experience in being a manager. He ain't got no experience in Hollywood, no experience in the business. He don't got no business being in no boardrooms, being anywhere talking about no multi-million-dollar deals, which is why Monique's career suffered the way it has. because he knows nothing about Evan. Sit down. Because if you knock my camera over, you're going to know it. But he has no experience being in no goddamn boardrooms with no executives and no Hollywood executives. He don't have no relationships in Hollywood to be able to get Monique no deals. Okay? And I mean, this woman begged and begged and begged Netflix and said she was just as good as Amy Schumer. She was just as good as Mike Epps. She was just as good as Dave Chappelle. All these people. I don't think Mike Epps has a special. Does he have a special? Well, she was just as good as, high-ranking comedians. And here it is, Netflix, they're marketing. They got people that study trends and study people's star power and study their fan base. And they understand like what the rate of return and what they're going to make off of a person before they even do these specials. And they knew that Monique wasn't given. It wasn't given multi-million-dollar return. And what happened? Flopped. It did just what they said it was going to do. Flop. And they basically gave her a check, gave her money for nothing. I mean, Monique is going around thinking that she more than what she actually is. And the only reason why she is on the blogs and the only reason why she's, being talked about and she's generating conversation is because of her outrageousness. Because she continues to talk about Tyler Perry and Oprah. That's the only, exposing the industry, exposing Hollywood executives. That's the thing now, okay? That's highly anticipated content, especially on YouTube. So Monique, that's all her narrative is at this point. That's all she really has at this point is Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, that whole, Lee Daniels got the fuck up out of it. He said, let me apologize to this hoe and get on out the way. Okay, because he was tired of it. Okay, he's like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm just gonna give the girl what she want, and I'm gone. But see, Oprah and Tyler, they're billionaires. They like, listen, we're not about to bend and bow down to this hood rat. Okay, who the fuck does she think she is? She got her pimp daddy talking to us anyway, and we don't even want to hear from him. She need to go out and get a real manager and get someone that can really represent her because he's not nothing but a pimp and a goddamn a player. All he do is run game, okay? That's all he doing is running goddamn game. All right. But, we're getting tired of this same narrative about Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. And we're tired of, the talking and the fact that she recorded him. Okay. Now, what if Tyler Perry sue you? What if there's charges brought against you for recording someone without their knowledge? Because when you went into the conversation, even though Tyler Perry called you, that's even more suspect. And that even more shows even more that you intended to record so that you can later down the line expose him. You had every intention on exposing this conversation for another 15 minutes of fame with this fucking narrative. Because why would you record someone if you are really having a conversation and wanting to get to the bottom of him blackballing you and money that, you claim that you're due and you're owed. And this man was prepared to write a check. He was trying to give you all of the precious money. He said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see what Precious made, how much money that it made. And I'm going to write you out a check, Monique. No, we don't want your money. That's not what we want, Tyler. I want to talk to Medea. Nigga. I mean, and just the way she was talking to him, it was so cringe. Like, I'm like, why are you calling this man nigga? Again, ghetto mentality. You are talking to Tyler Perry. I don't give a damn if you know him, like personally or whatever, but you don't say, I want to talk to Medea, nigga. That's not how a woman talks, especially when you're talking about business. There is a time and a place. That is not a stand-up. You are not on stage. I want to talk to Medea, nigga, because you ain't talking about, yeah, nigga, you know what I'm saying, nigga. Huh? I know Tyler was like, wait a minute. Why is she calling me a nigga? Why is she calling me a nigga? Why are you calling me nigga? I want to talk to Madea, nigga, because you ain't talking right. Okay, he was trying to give you the money. So if he tried to give you the money, you turn down the money. What do you want, Monique? What do you want from Tyler Perry and Oprah? So yes, Monique is the problem all the way around the board. Monique is the problem. And this is sad. You know, this whole thing with your child, it is sad. 32 years old, 33, however old he is now, it doesn't matter. Your child is your child for life. You are blessed to bless others. And especially when you are blessed in a form of a celebrity, blessed with millions, you're supposed to be blessing your family. It is celebrities that take care of their extended family. But it's always the black folks that we got to remind that you're supposed to be taking care of your family. But look at, see, Beyonce, Jay-Z, them, I look at them and I look at, they are picture perfect. Look how they take care of Miss Tina, okay? They take care of Miss Tina. Beyonce gonna take care of her mama, all right? They take care of Miss Tina. They take care of them kids. They take care of them grandkids. They take care of their own. Jay-Z taking care of his mama, okay? So I don't want to hear it. I'm so sick of black people. Well, he's grown. He need to be doing for himself. Monique ain't obligated to give him money just because she is a celebrity and she famous. That's her son. And he represents the past. He been through hell with Monique. That's all the more reason why he shouldn't be wanting for shit. Him, his family, his child, his wife, or whoever. That's all the more reason why she should be making sure he's set up. I mean, get the boy a business, a son. That's what we're supposed to be creating generational wealth. Wealth that can go down generations. Get him a damn car lot, a car washer, apartment complex, something that he can make his own money, employ others, be the boss of. But see, Sydney, that's a man. He's in the way, and he wants that boy to come through him. He's busy trying to prove a point, and Monique is allowing it to mess up her relationship with her son because she's backing Sydney. Everything Sydney does, everything Sydney say, she's backing Sydney, her daddy. Can you imagine how he feels to see his mom on social media talking about him, and then you got the damn daddy saying that he got a mental illness? That boy ain't got no mental illness. We're not going to call out and say mental illness because of everything, that because you getting called to the carpet and you don't like what's being revealed and what's being said. And now, so he ain't sound like he had a mental illness to me. He sounded like he was very articulate, and he could articulate and come across very well. It was not giving mental illness. Okay. Wasn't giving mental illness at all. All right. So, absolutely, Monique is the problem. I mean, you know, that's just my perspective. That is, you know, where I'm coming from with this. I mean, just given all the clips and everything that I showed, you know, Monique definitely has admitted that she wasn't interested in being a mother. She was not interested in being a mother to this boy. So everything that he is saying, he has every right. He is not over exaggerating. He's not cuckoo. He's not crazy. He's not bitter. He's not none of that. He's honest, and he's 100% right. Monique was more interested, and she's still more interested in being Monique, being auntie and my sweet babies, which is why she brought the text messages out, and which is why, because once you call Monique to the carpet, she's not going to stop. She's going to keep going and keep going and keep bringing this out and showing this to prove her point. In her quest to prove that it's good old Monique, Auntie Monique, she is the victim. Everybody is against Monique. Everything Monique does is right. She is right about everything, 100% right. Now, how on one hand you going to say and admit that you admit that you were not present. You were not a mother. You were not interested in being a mother. Where's the conversation that you mended that you made that right? No, you gave a half-ass apology and said, this is what I said, take it or leave it. That's all I'm willing to give. Take it or leave it. And if you don't want it, well, honey, me and my new family, we packing up and we going on about our business. That's what it shows. That's what it's giving. That's what I see. That's how it's coming across to me. And like I said, I can identify with this and I can see it. And I can see it so clear because I have been through this. And oh, thank you for the Cash App. I just seen that out the corner of my eye, child. Thank you. You know who you are. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you for love your content. Thank you so much. Oh. So, I mean, like I said, from what I see, he's not doing anything wrong. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? Monique is basically saying, take it or leave it. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I apologize. What more you want? No, sometimes it's deed. Like he said, faith without works is dead. You can't just throw something out in the universe and say, okay, God gonna fix it. God's not a magician. You got to do the work. When someone resents you, when there's a deep-seated resentment from childhood, it's going to take some time to mend that. You're going to have to do what it takes. Doing is an action word. So you're going to have to do some things. And you might hit a brick wall. You might keep being met with resistance, but eventually you will break that wall down. And that's what she's not willing to do. She's the type as, take what I said, take it or leave it, because that's all you're going to get from me. If you don't receive it, oh, well, bye. And that's not good. That is not good, because what she's doing is saying his feelings are not valid. She's not validating him. And it doesn't matter how old a person is. That's why some older, our black men, some of them are wounded. Some of them have mommy issues. Some of them have issues from, trauma from their childhood, and it hasn't been addressed. It hasn't been dealt with. It's swept under the rug. It's hidden. These black secrets, these secrets in the family that we don't get counseling, we don't handle. We just keep sweeping it under the rug, and we just keep saying, oh, we'll deal with it. Oh, we'll get over it. We strong black people. We're resilient. No, sometimes we got to talk it out. We need to bring it out. And for them two to be sitting up there, Monique and her daddy, not Dr. Phil, Dr. Phil and Dr. Ruth or whatever, honey. The two of them, all they do, they got an answer for everything but the right thing. They can see everybody else's problems and they can break down what everybody else need to be doing, but they can't break down. They cannot seem to put a finger on what they should be doing. They can't see the part that they play in any of their drama, in any of their situations. They can't see themselves, but they can see everyone else. And I'm telling you, they just keep going and going and going, and they just keep going and going and going. And you be like, okay, when are you going to stop? When you gonna come up for air? Because I'm telling you, they could go. Daddy can go, honey. Daddy can talk. Daddy just goes. He just talks. Yes, Yolanda, definitely deflection. Deflection at its finest. Jenemy says she doesn't want to jump through the same hoops that she expects all the industry to jump through for her. I agree with that. Yolanda Wilson, I still think that Sydney's involvement is not going to allow them to reconnect at this point. Sydney is way too involved in every aspect of her life. I bet he is controlling. He is very involved. And like I said, she sits back and tell him, Daddy, you better say it, Daddy. Everything he says, she just acts like it's the first time she's ever heard it. It's so deep. And, it's like, girl, he ain't saying nothing, child. That ain't nothing. He probably heard that shit from somebody else. And I'm telling you, it's too much. When someone is talking too much, They saying a whole bunch of shit and they not really saying nothing. You need to run from people like that. You know what I mean? It's like, girl, you that gullible? Because I can look right at him and tell he's just a $2 hustler. All right. But he definitely got Monique. All right. And once he put them 2 seeds in her, that was it. Okay. But he definitely, but I don't think, one thing about Sydney, I don't think that Sydney is controlling or abusive. I don't think that he might have the potential to be. He might have been in other relationships. But I don't think he's that way with Monique, because he sat back and watched and seen what Monique went through with others. And he knows her history and knows what she went through with Shalon's father and stuff like that. So he knew what not to do, right? He sat back and studied, and he's the type that he will feed Monique all of those lines and make her feel so good and make her feel like he's making her better as a woman, because he's telling her things that she, is making her want to be so, great. And I want to change and I want to be his woman and I want to, be everything he wants me to be. But meanwhile, he cheating. Meanwhile, he's spending all the money. You so deep and you so into him that you're not paying attention that he's taking all your goddamn money. He probably spending it. It's just like Wendy and Kevin. She was so into him. He was spending all the money on Sharina. She was leaving it up to him to do all the business deals. And he was creeping behind her back. That's what it gives with Sydney, which is why, to me, he would introduce the open marriage theme. He would introduce the bisexual, be bi-curious, like women and all of this. He would introduce that so that he can have his fun, spend money, be a playboy. And meanwhile, Monique thinks that she's just standing by her man. She's a new woman. She's a new creature, because this is what women are supposed to do. This is how y'all supposed to love y'all man. Y'all, I got it. I finally got it. After all these years, Sydney done did it for me. Sydney introduced me to all of this. Sydney introduced me to the world. He introduced me to a new way of life. Sydney. That's what it is. Sydney. It's like, and this nigga ain't nothing but a hustler, okay? A pimp. A good old pimp. That's what he is, child. I am Queen. Tori says, my question is, does she think everything is content? How will this affect the tour? How you tell us speak the truth to power and your son does just that and now he's mentally ill? Make it make sense. Exactly. That's why I was saying it's not giving mental illness. He's telling the truth and he's exposing and bringing it out. And you're saying that he's mentally ill because it don't fit the narrative. It makes you look bad. He's airing out the dirty laundry, my sweet babies. Okay. That's what Shalon doing. Shalon pulling back the coverage. He said these the uncle and auntie and uncle, they ain't auntie and uncle. Okay. Daddy and auntie. This is what's really going on. Okay. But that's what they want to make him like. Oh, he's the jealous one. He's jealous of the other kids. He's resentful. He's bitter. He's mad because we don't give him money. We don't take care of his family. We're making him be a man and we making him pay for his own way in life. Why? Why are you making him pay for his own way in life? You're rich. You're a millionaire. Do you think the Rockefellers, do you think the Hiltons, do you think the Trumps, do you think they make their kids pay their way through life? Absolutely not. And I don't want to hear this thing, oh, well, money, it's going to make them spoiled. It's going to make them, they need to know how to work hard. Why? They have the money. They don't have to. Why? Why do we have to make life hard? See, we're so used to that mentality. Why? We don't need to do it. If you don't need to and the money, you have the money, you don't need to. What do you need to work hard for? Get them a business. Get them something that will make them money. But that's the excuse that Sydney is using so that he don't have to give. Him and Monique don't have to give. So that it looks like, oh, they trying. Yeah, that's good. They rich people, but honey, they trying to be just like us. You know, they not going to show off their money. They going to make their kids work for it. Why? You best believe I hit it rich. My kids ain't going to have to work and want for shit. We did that. We struggled already. I struggled so you don't have to struggle. I ran so you could walk. Okay? I did all this so that you can be laid up and you can be having a great and easy life. That's the whole part of you being rich. When he said he had derogatory items on his credit and she like, you go. Are you serious? You could have paid that little shit off his credit. Whatever it is he owed, you could have straightened that out. Why is he trying to have to finance a car? You just buy that shit outright. Ridiculous. McClurk says DJ Khaled put his kids' names on his albums. So even if he dies, they still make money. Period. Look at Blue Ivy. Look at Northwest. Look at these kids. They got the right idea. Set your kids up. That's what the Rockefellers do. That's what the Kennedys, all these blue bloods, that's what they do. Just like Diddy's kids. Like I seen a post. I think they were on an island. They were somewhere. They were vacationing or they was dancing. They was doing something. And people in the comments was like, you know, they need to be doing this. They need to be, why would he put them as models, or why would he want them to be in the business? They should be in school. They should be. And I said, why? When they can buy whatever career they want, they can be whatever it is they want to be. They can buy it. Like, why are we so worried about kids working? And when they billionaires, they don't have to do that. Y'all got it twisted. They don't have to do that. There go my moderator, Together We Break Chains. Please go to Together We Break Productions. Together We Break Chains Productions. She has a YouTube channel. Please go over and subscribe to her channel and tell her that the SweetpeaDiaries sent you. Okay, y'all? And moderators, make sure y'all put y'all links in the chat so that the viewers know where to go to get y'all content. Exactly. Tia says she set her son up for failure. Exactly. It's like, you're Monique. You have a name. It shouldn't be anywhere that he go that they don't know who he is. You think, like I said, you think Beyonce's Blue Ivy, wherever she go, they know who she is, child. Jules, they know who Solange's son is, child. They know who Northwest, Chicago, Saint, all them kids is, child. Wherever your sons and your kids go, they should know who they are. Okay? Okay, hold on for a second, y'all. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. Sweetpea, get Shalon on the line now. He has support out here. This is crazy. Yeah, you know, I would love to get Shalon on the line. If I can reach out to him, if anyone knows how to get in contact with him, I definitely would love to have a sit down with him and interview him and talk to him, because I sympathize with him. I've been through this with my own mother, and I understand how it feels for your mom to forsake you for a man. My mom did that to me. She absolutely, left me in the dust and went on to marry. Well, she didn't marry him, but she went on to have 2 children with him. And after she knew, the situation and the abuse, she still went on to have 2 kids. And I resent her. I am still wounded by the whole situation. Like I said, she emailed me the other day and she still has not addressed this situation. And she just wants to move on. I'm supposed to pack it all up and I'm just supposed to move on. Even though I have moved on for the sake of me being able to have peace in my life and me be able to raise my own children and not be abusive to my own children and to be able to protect my own children, I absolutely did have to move on. I did have to put things behind me. But to have a relationship with you, when I look at you, it just represents that part of my life that is a soft spot. And you haven't addressed it. And that's what Monique is not doing. She's not addressing the issue. She wants to say, I apologize for whatever you feel. I apologize for it. Let's just move on. No, you need to talk to him and tell him why the fame was more important than him. He felt like he wasn't enough. Like, okay, so I understand that you wanted to, and the thing about it is, okay, if you say, well, if I didn't put in that work, I wouldn't be Monique. Like I sacrificed but you ain't giving him none of that. He ain't reaping none of the benefits. So you can't even use that argument. You can't say that, well, if it wasn't for me sacrificing being a mother and a wife at that time, I wouldn't have this career and you wouldn't have the things you have. No, because she's not doing that. She's not playing that part. She's not financially supporting him, his family, and she is obligated to do that. She's a celebrity. And I don't want to hear that shit. Oh, he's grown. He should be able to take care of his own family. No, he should not if you're a millionaire. That's what you have money for. You can't take it with you. And I feel like Sydney and Monique would be the ones to dangle that money in his face, dangle their circumstance in his face and be like, well, because you're not doing what we say and you're not kissing our ass, we don't have shit for you. You just sit out there and struggle. Where's that? And that's right. Where? How do you justify that? How do you validate that? I just don't. I don't agree with that at all. Okay. So that's really all I have, you guys. I can go on and on and on and on about this, but that is really all I have. I think that all of this is messy and I'm pretty sure it's just going to keep going because that's what Monique does. Okay. I'm pretty sure she's going to come out with something else that she's going to throw up as receipts. Okay. How could you even talk about text messages with your son being receipts? It's the fact that she used the word receipts for me. How are you using the word receipts referencing text messages from your son? And why did you feel that we needed to see any of it? It didn't show, it wasn't showing you as a mother, like mothering. It was fake. It was very much standoffish. It was very much just having something to say. It didn't show, it had, if anything, it proved his point and it showed that y'all are estranged, that you don't know what to say to him. There's no, I love you, how's my granddaughter? I'm going to fly out to see you. I have X, Y, and Z for you. I'm going to make sure this and that. Are y'all good? Do you need anything? I miss you. Nothing. It's just real, like how you would talk to a friend. I just didn't get, if I were to look at those text messages, I wouldn't even know if she didn't put the word son or he didn't put mommy. I wouldn't even know that was a freaking exchange between a mom and a son. I wouldn't have known that. So it wasn't endearing at all. It didn't have any warmth. It was just pleasantries. We're just exchanging pleasantries, right? I'm just texting you because I have to. But I don't understand what it was proving. It wasn't proving anything at all. If anything, it was proving Shalon's case that there is no relationship there. And the fact, like I said, that these were dated for 2021, ma'am, it's 2024. Where's the fucking text messages from 2024? 2023. Show us something recent. And then we want to see all the messages. We don't want to see just the shit you want to show us. No, we want to see you that real shit that you be talking. Nigga. Nigga, we ain't giving you shit, nigga. That mommy, baby shit, no, we want to see the real shit. If you sat on that phone and talked to Tyler Perry like that and called him a nigga, I know good and goddamn well you call Shalon a nigga and you want to try to act like it's my sweet baby. No. No. I want to see the real tea. Courtney says, my mom calls me every day or every other day. Okay. Queen April says she should want to make up for basically abandoning him to chase her career. Exactly. And she's just not addressing that. She's not. But she addressed it. I think she forgot that she said that back in 2020. That she admitted that. And I'm not going to just. She did say that she apologized. But in that interview back in 2020, she was specific. And she said she did not want to be a mother or a wife. So see, they represented to her, they were in her way. Okay, they were in her way of her career. They were in her way of her red carpet. She wanted to be on the red carpet. She didn't want to be home with them. She wanted to be in the limelight. And now, even now, she want to be everywhere else except for with Shalon, except for with him and his family and his kid. And she wants to be everywhere else on the stage with Cat Williams, with Shay Shay, with the Netflix people. She want to be everywhere else. She doesn't have time for him. And it's sad. It's sad. And it's sad that she does not even recognize it. She doesn't recognize it. But then, sometimes, I'm not going to let her get off the hook that easily, because some of these people that have these issues, they do recognize it. It's just they have too much pride that they're just not going to show it. They're not going to let us know that they recognize it, right? Because we're the ones. Because then if they admit it, then what defense do they have, right? So, yeah, we're going to end it with that. Monique, you need to get your life together, sweetie. Okay, you might have you feel like you got a temporary win because you got the Netflix money. You begged and begged for it. And, this is the last thing. Before I forget, I did want to address this. I hate when people have this thing about white people, right? That we don't want to say things because we don't want to embarrass ourselves in front of white people. And, they want to talk about white people. And do you realize the money and the networks and all that money you begged for, that was from white folks? The people that you want them to put you on their screens, it's white folks. So I don't understand how y'all want y'all cake and eat it too. You want to talk about the white folks, but then on the other hand, you want them to give you something. If that's the case, build your own empire. Have your own special. Have your own production company. Your sons could be working there. Shalon, he's in sales. It seems like marketing. He could be doing something like that. Your other sons, create an empire. Create your own. No, you too busy. You got that slave mentality where you want to get it from the man. You want to get it from the very people that you want to down and talk about and criticize. Okay, so think about that, you guys. All right, she want to talk about the man. She want to talk about the white man. That we need to have these conversations and stop being embarrassed in front of the white man. No, what we need to have the kind of conversations as black people that we need to have. We need to stop having these secrets, and we need to stop throwing our own goddamn kids under the bus and throwing them out to the goddamn wolves. When we have become comfortable and we have been put in a position where we can gift things, money or houses, businesses, that's what we need to do. We need to set our kids up. If they ain't got to be out here working for the man and slaving, why should they? You're Monique. Ain't no goddamn, your son ain't got no business having 3 derogatory anything on his credit report when you can easily knock that off in cash. You can call every creditor and knock that off and get rid of that debt. Period. Okay, that's what we need to be talking about. That's what black people need to get. We need to get more accustomed to, and we need to start doing. We need to start creating generational wealth. When you are put in a position where you can help yours, your family, other generations, that's what you need to do. I can't believe that they are justifying the fact that they got this boy out here struggling. Monique, and you think that's right? You just got millions. He shouldn't be wanting for shit. Absolutely nothing. All right, so we're going to go with that, you guys. Thank you for being here. You guys know I'm not used to being on the live, okay? I'm really I've been using StreamYard a lot lately. I have not been using my program, and I haven't been, being on camera. So, I have to get used to it. Is Monique the problem, y'all? When you catch the replay, I want you to drop in the comments and let me know. Is Monique the problem? Who's the problem? Is her son the problem for bringing all of this to the, to the blogs and to the forefront? Or is Monique the problem for not addressing it properly? Because I don't feel like she's addressed it properly. I don't feel like that she's given her son the apology that she should have given him. Just simply putting a blanket over it and saying, I'm sorry. No, ma'am, you did some damage. Okay? You have admitted you didn't want to be a mother. You didn't want to be a wife. So you need to address that. Why didn't you want to be a mother? What was it? Why was fame more important? That is where his resentment is. His resentment is you did it for them, but you didn't do it for me. How come I wasn't enough, but they're enough? How come Sydney's kids, you were able to be a mother and a wife for them, but not me? That's his problem. And that's what he wants Monique to address. All right. So I'm out of here, you guys. Like this video, share this video, but most importantly, be sure to subscribe. Thank you guys for your cash apps. Thank you for your donations. I will catch you guys on the next video. Good night, guys. Love you. Bye.